it started from family, to be honest with you, but not that they thought I was mixed race, but
obviously they do.
Just I'm the lightest person in my family. So it started from my family making me feel a certain type of way because I'm not as dark as everybody else in the family. Or like getting, or like, you know, like cousins or sisters, like thinking that you get special treatment because of the way that you are. And then that went then translated into school.
So you were saying how you got treated in family was about, you know, they saw you as kind of fairer skinned, you have more privileges.
Yeah.
How did that play out in society? Did you feel like you had more privileges?
Not necessarily, because I still didn't look at myself as somebody that could have privileges in this society, if that makes sense. So for me, it was like a battle of how do I now act? It's dumb to say this, but like what people say, like how black people typically act, or how light-skinned people typically act.
So when you say act, how does that play out for you? What did you feel like you had to do?
Sometimes I'd feel like I couldn't really say certain things, like express my opinion. And then other times when I did express my opinion, then I'm being told like, you know, how you talking like that? You're too rude, or, you know, you look like that, you shouldn't be speaking like that. Stuff like that, I would say, yeah.
When you was in society, did society view you as mixed race, light skin, black? How did you think of society?
I was told quite a lot that I'm not black. So I would say that I'm black, and then people would turn around and say, well, no, you're not.
What would that do for you?
So at first, I used to, like, when I didn't really, like, my dad's quite good at, and my mum, they're quite good at, like, we grew up knowing about our history and knowing about black history. So for me, I used to think a lot of people were quite ignorant, but then it still made me feel like, I'll put it this way, one time somebody said, oh, you're not black, and I turned around and then I kind of said, it's not my fault that my ancestors were raped by white people. Quite ignorantly, not realising the Eve gene created all the colours in the world. So for me, used to think, okay, there's white somewhere back in my ancestry, and that's why I'm so light. Whereas when I got a bit older and did more studying, I realised that no, blacks create all the colours in the world. So then, like when I was recently doing a course, this was a white guy, he turned around and said to me that I'm not black, look at my hair, look at my skin. So I turned around and I said, well, no, have you not heard of the Eve gene? Eve gene is what created you, me. I put that because there's different shades of people in the room. And then I kind of felt more empowered by my skin tone, whereas when I was younger, I probably felt quite, I didn't really like my skin colour when I was younger.
What did you want to be?
Darker, yeah.
Nice. It's interesting
just because yeah, I know.
Want to go the other way.
Yeah, and that used to really annoy me. So like when people would say stuff like, oh, you know, like you're light skinned, so like you shouldn't feel this way, or because like, or even like skin, like my hair, oh, your hair's so soft, so you shouldn't feel that way, or like just silly little things that people would comment, but I would still think, well, actually, I don't like that about myself, because actually I'm black and I'm just really, really light, so it would just piss me off that people would just always think, oh, you must have white in you, that's why you're so light. Or you must have white in you and that's why your hair's this texture. So it would really frustrate me. Or even like the colour of my hair is quite light compared to my siblings and most of the people in my family. So it would be like, some of my sisters, they used to say, oh, daddy's not really your dad, you know, you've got a different dad. Because my dad's like the dark skin, dread, and my mum is exactly like me. Not in a horrible way, but you know, that's just what people would say. like when I would go to school and my dad would drop me to school, people would say, "Oh, that's not your dad," just because he was a dark skinned Rasta man, and I looked like this. So that used to like be very frustrating as well.
But you don't not look black to me.
I know, and that's what I'll turn around and say.
I think it's the word black though.
Yeah.
Black doesn't really suggest anything.
Mm.
So if she was like, I'm African, it's different, but it's still based on ignorance. What the person will say after.
Mm.
No, you're not African, but how would you know?
I mean, I could assume you was mixed race,
Yeah.
but I know there are black people that have your tone, so
Yeah.
it's more, I'd ask if I was that. I wouldn't just be like, oh, you must be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or even like when I would say to people I'm Jamaican, they'd be like, "Well, you look Portuguese." I'm like, okay.
Did you get like particular labels? And the reason why I asked that is my aunt literally, like your complexion, hair type similar, just darker, and everyone was just, she's red.
Yeah.
That's it, but there was...
Oh no, I got albino. That's what I got. Yeah. I got albino from family, from in school.
They
And-
don't know what albino
I was
is.
going to say,
Because
they were aware of the definition.
Light eyes, quite blonde hair. They have no
good
melanin.
one. No, but that's what I would then say. Like, if I was albino, wouldn't my hair be white?
Yeah.
So what did that do for you growing up? Like, what did that do for your self-confidence, connection to your heritage, all that stuff?
Identity.
Yeah, it kind of. Oh shit.
Okay, this is real.
Clearly, I healed from this, innit?
No, but it's real.
Yeah, it kind of made me feel like I had to, like, not that I ever went and got fake tan, but I would feel like I'd have to go and get fake tan, or like I would have to sit out in the sun for longer just to try and make my skin darker. This is what I was trying to prevent.
Can't prevent it, unfortunately. Because we're carrying shit. Obviously, when was the point that you decided I'm not going to do that shit no more?
I felt like it, but I never done it. Because it was more so because of this, like, well, I sit in the sun, but that's just because I like the sun. It didn't really have anything to do with with that. But like, if sunbeds didn't cause skin cancer, I might have sang on a sunbed. But I think, I don't know, probably like in my 20s is when I felt comfortable about my own skin colour and just felt like, even though I would always stick up for myself and always like put people in their place, I still felt a certain type of way, and nobody probably even noticed because I never acted like how I am now. I would just brush it off. I would, like, even as an older teenager, and people used to still say things, I would just like, oh, whatever, you're just stupid, you're just being silly.
Was there a point where you, because obviously beneath the surface it affected you, was there a point where you recognised that? Where it was like, as much as I've been fighting the fight, I'm just trying to prove my identity.
I would say, like, I recognised it all along, but I just didn't act on it.
If you didn't have your parents,
Yeah.
you could have gone.
Yeah, but also, my parents did also cause a lot of problems in my life. So, sometimes I would sit and think I'd be better off if I didn't have my parents, and then sometimes I think I might have been worse off if I didn't have my parents. So,
Paradox.
yeah.
We all think that.
I was going to say, so do you think knowing your history is what brought the awareness to where you then had the identity problem? For instance, say you didn't know about your history, I'm sure colorism would even come into it, so you'd probably capitalise of, oh, I'm light skinned and this is how everyone wants to be, so I'm the chosen one kind of thing. Do you think it's the awareness of your history, knowing your history and everything that
I
maybe
think
part of the battle?
no, I feel like because I was so different compared to everybody else in my family, I didn't feel like, oh yeah, I'm light skinned and I've got this privilege. I didn't feel like that.
It's just belonging.
Yeah, I didn't even go around telling people that I was light skinned. I literally, when anybody would ask me, I'd say I'm black. I would never say, you know, like as a teenager, people would give themselves nicknames and stuff like that. I never even did that, like, oh, I'm a light E, or I never even did any of that because I don't like those connotations.
Around this topic, is there anything that you, for the people watching, is there anything you need them to know or to be aware of or conscious of?
I would say know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, then anybody can plant seeds into your mind, which then can make you act a certain way or do certain things. So, like I said, if I didn't have that awareness of myself, I probably would have went and sat in the sunbed and done all of that stuff. Or, like, even for darker skinned people that bleach their skin, you don't know yourself and value yourself enough, and that's why you go and do that. So like, even for me being a light skinned person, I'm not going to sit here and plaster myself with dark makeup just to make myself more appealing to people. Yeah, I think I answered the question.